I want to thank you so much for your introductions. I watched them as they were coming in. I think the first three people were Nathan and Alex and Rosemary, and then Allison, and then one after another they came marching in, and Shady's and Megan and Jared, and who else did one? Oh, they were great. And we've had Megan, Jacob, Cody, Jared, Melanie, Chloe, Shady, Allison, Rosemary, Alex, and Nathan. It's so inspiring to me, and we do not have face-to-face class. So these introductions are even more than precious. If you're in a slump, if you're feeling a little lethargic, watch your peers and you're going to feel so good. We're still waiting for about, I think, another 10 students to participate, so I hope you are inspired by your classmates. But they range the gamut of interest levels from sports to horses to going into the communication major to loving life and loving people, trying something new for the first time, Disney. Rosemary loves everything Disney. Plus, she's an accomplished author. You know, when we start to really, what I call unpeel the onion around a person, you have their name, you see them, and then you start finding out individual things that really humanizes them. You get a deep appreciation for the human spirit. And above all, this is a humanities class. It is not about memorizing terms, it's about experiences. So even the discussion boards and the journals are to be brought back to you. What does it mean to you? Examining who you are and what makes your relationships work, where can you improve on them, maintaining, creating new ones. Next week, I'm looking beyond you now. We're going to take as a group the Myers-Briggs Personality Inventory. It's an inventory. There's no right, there's no wrong. I received this particular one from our career services, but if you go on Google and put Myers-Briggs, there's a lot of different inventory, or if you want to call them tests, out there. There's about 60 some questions, and you may not think they make any sense to you, but they've been compiled by the team of Myers-Briggs from decades ago and have been tweaked a little bit here and there by other behaviorists in the field to try to get your personality types out. If you've done this before, please do it again. But it really shows us all, I think, how much personality affects our relationships and affects our time on this planet, how we see the world. And everyone you meet has a Myers-Briggs. Everyone you meet has a personality. So you are going to do that, and don't overthink it. There, like I said, there's no right or wrong. And once you do, you're going to be getting 4 letters assigned to you. And you're either going to be an E, which stands for extrovert, or an I, which stands for introvert, or you're going to be an S, which stands for sensing person, someone who likes the details, or an I, which means intuitive, the big picture person, or you're going to be a, let's see what the others, oh, T and J, no, T and F, which is how you make your decisions. Do you do T means for thinking, you're processing, you're really a good thinker and analyzing rationally, or do you make your decisions by your heartstrings? Are you a feeling person? And then the last category is a P or a J. P stands for perceiving, and that doesn't mean anything more than you go with the flow. You're flexible. You're easy to get along with. You don't mind if plans change suddenly. You can adapt quite easily. You're a very laid-back type of person. A J person, and don't misunderstand this. It stands for judging, but it doesn't mean judgmental. Some people think, oh yes, my mother's a J, she judges everyone. No, it doesn't mean that. J meaning you want structure, you want organization, you want a plan. You do not like to be surprised, and you want to go with the plan. And you're going to see that these are the major categories, but among them, you're going to have different variables of them. My daughter and I are the exact same letters, but she is more of a centrist than I am. I'm more of an extreme. So we're similar, but we can understand each other, but she's much more right in the middle. And it's amazing how in the middle she is. And she is like that. She really is. So knowing that about her has helped our relationship as she became an adult, especially because when you are a child, your parents are just trying to keep you alive, right? And maybe teach you some things, but keep you going. But you become an adult, you become your own person. You do what they call you separate and individuate. You become your own autonomous self. So seeing your adult children as through the eyes of Myers-Briggs is very important. Same thing for you who have parents that you may still live with. Seeing them through the eyes of their personality helps 100%. It really does. Your mother, your father don't do the things they do to drive you crazy. It's who they are. And that is true of everyone we meet. So first thing is to examine who you are and appreciate and respect yourself, but then make sure you transfer that over to others as well. So we're going to have the Myers-Briggs. And then there is a PowerPoint that goes with it, so you can read along. The E's and the I's think this of each other. I don't narrate it. I did at one point, but you can see how I can do nothing short. And then our discussion board is about being connected yet alone, how sometimes our social media can separate us as people, and how do you prefer to exchange information, and how do you prefer to enjoy your thous, right? Now, during COVID-19, this changes things, and the journal goes along with that too. So I put a little acknowledgement of that in the journal. I did not do it on the discussion board, but I know when those questions were created last semester, they were created pre-COVID-19. So you can adapt your answers to what's going on right now in your life. And that's important to upgrade, update, I mean. Then I give you a handout on the 8 principles of interpersonal communication according to Julia T. Wood, who's one of the big researchers in the field of interpersonal. And I will go over those with you as time goes on. But those are the 8 principles that have been replicated in so many different ways, so many different versions of those. But those are the basic foundational truths that have been agreed upon. If you ever take this class again, you go to a 4-year school or even on the graduate level, and you see interpersonal communication, find out if you can still get credit for it and take it again. Because if you take it on the junior or senior level or master's level, you're going to be doing a lot of research. You're going to be researching the researchers. You're going to be doing your own research, writing a lot of papers. Our class is Introduction to Interpersonal. It's a level 1, but it's very important class to start with. It just gets you thinking about yourself, about others, and about what you can do to maintain healthy relationships and to be part of a healthy relationship. It's very important. And then I have the interpersonal communication model. Now you're going to look at all those words and say, what does it mean? So I've added the chapter that I used for the public speaking class, chapter 1, on explaining the communication model and explaining communication. It's a good read. It's only 10 pages, but you'll see the vocabulary all being explained. And that's it for next week. So next week, you're going to do the Myers-Briggs Personality Inventory. You're going to participate in the discussion board. You're going to do the journal. And then you're going to read what I have there. And you're going to have a really good week. And this is Patriots game day. So go Pats. I know I think Alex and Cody. And Cody is right in there. And so is Alex for the Pats. And to me, sports are what connects us together. And I've noticed that my friends who aren't sports oriented look at me as if, what are you, crazy? But this comes from an interpersonal relationship I had with my father. My father passed away when I was 12. But prior to that, I used to spend a lot of time on the weekends with him. And he loved the Boston Patriots. And I can remember going to stadiums that were part of universities to watch football games. And I paid attention. My brothers went as well, but my father would say, but I really, really loved it. And he loved all 4 big sports, and he loved soccer too when the revolution, absolutely. But I went to Bruins games. I saw Larry Bird. I was in the Boston Garden, as we say in those days. But anyway, so sometimes we have traditions that are passed down to us from our family that we still hang on to and still have found very dear. And sports is definitely one of them. I'm not upset with Brady or Gronk for going to the Buccaneers, and I will be very interested in how they do, and I wish them well. But if it ever comes down to a Patriot Buccaneers contest. Well, the Pats have to win. All right, have a good week, everyone. Oh, I wanted to say one more thing. I know it's always one more thing. I wanted to show you how I do my grades because I don't use the grade book anymore. This is a humanities class. There's no way my rubrics were working, and it was making me very frustrated. There is no reason why you're not going to get an A or a B in this class. No reason at all, unless you just don't show up. And that's really the only way. If you are answering intelligently and in good college writing and complete thoughts, you're going to get full credit for your discussion boards, for your journals. I don't nitpick what you say. And when we have the final presentation at the end or toward the end of the semester, I'm very open to a lot of different variables. So I wish this class was pass fail. That's what I really wish, but it isn't. So what I do, and I've already put you into my green book, and believe it or not, many teachers use the green book or they use their own version of it because we can't always rely on the computer to keep I'm looking for our class. Oh, here we are. So I have all your names in here, down here. And then up above here, I have the weeks. And as soon as you participate in the discussion board, sometimes there are two, one or two, I check it off, meaning you showed up for that week, okay? And you see how important attendance is? It's right the first thing. Then the second thing on my toolbar, I put the introduction. Did you do it? Yes. And you're going to get full credit unless you just mumble a few things, and I might write to you and say, please do it again. But for most part, you get it, so you get the full credit. And then after that, the journals. Participating in the journals is very important to me. I haven't filled this in yet, so don't panic. But I go through week by week and I check it off, right? And if it's extra good, I give you a check plus. But as long as you get a check, that's all you're looking for. And that's important. And then the discussion boards. And then I comment too how connected you were to the discussion boards. Sometimes there's certain discussion boards you might not have much to say, and that's really okay. But I want you to have get your words in there, and then go back to them once you posted to comment on one of your peers' postings and to also read what other people are saying. You can find out a lot about people, and it evolves over time. This is a process. Many times on discussion boards, I'll write something 1 week, and 2 weeks later I have another thought. Oh, I know what I should have said or I could have said. That's just being a human being. That's absolutely what happens. And then I put with your video, did you do your video, and then the final exam. So all that's important, and you can see on my syllabus that I do say this is how you're going to get your grade. So I count it in my green book. You can count it in your book too. If you're not getting the full check, like there's something wrong, I contact you. So if you're doing it, you're great. So as the end of the semester, students say, hey, this wasn't so bad. You just had to show up and you had to try. And that's what it is. The self-reflection, I have no idea if you are reflecting or not, but I hope so. I hope you're taking this opportunity to do some self-love. Go Patriots. They're on right now, so I think I'm going to end this and send it to you.